Đàn đầy Khmer cứ chia má nô cô Sông màu bó tăng tai bì bó ra Vạt bật thô à rẻ thô rung rung càng càng Khmer rủ sông xa miền sức xây rây ấy lời Khmer chào chân vô chiến biến từng đời Khmer trọc cai sang chân pro chi vi Sức sông riêng khang trập bánh lê thơ đi Khmer rung xa bì cà bìa từng đời Campuchia ai kê riêng ban thiên bì tung Khmer ban sốc tiếng ong trộm ác ma Xùmประพุนឲ្យបោសសាធុកាសាធារណរដ្ឋថ្មីគ្រប់គ្រងហើយដែរដែនដីខ្មែរគឺជាមហានគរស្រងបបរតាំងតែពីបុរាណវប្បធម៌អារ្យធម៌រុងរឿងខាងកាខ្មែររស់សុខសាន្តមានសិទ្ធិសេរីអីលើខ្មែរចៅចិនយុទ្ធជាតិពៀនទឹកដីខ្មែរគ្រប់កាយស្មាំងចិនប្រជីវីសឹកសង្គ្រាមខ្លាំងប្រាប់ពេញលើធរណីខ្មែររួមសាមីការពារទឹកដីកម្ពុជាឯករាជ្យបានឃ្លាតពីតុងខ្មែរបានសុខទាំងអង្គគ្រប់អាត្មាសូមប្រពន្ធឲ្យបោសសាធុកាសាធារណរដ្ឋថ្មីគ្រប់គ្រងផែនដី
យើងខ្ញុំប្រកាសណាសូមក្រាបថ្វាយបង្គំព្រះពុទ្ធព្រះធម៌ព្រះសង្ឃជាទីសក្ការៈសូមគ្រប់ជំរាបសួរឯកឧត្តមសាស្ត្រាចារ្យបណ្ឌិតដាវឆតរីអគ្គស្ថាបនិកអគ្គមេបញ្ជាការឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិជាទីគោរពដ៏ខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់និងសូមជម្រាបសួរបងប្អូនខ្មែរទូទាំងសកលលោកនេះជាកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីលើកទី29ថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានប្រធានបទស្ដីអំពីពិភពលោកឥឡូវមានការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរច្រើនណាស់ដូច្នោះនគរខ្មែរមានជ័យត្រូវការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរដែរយើងខ្ញុំនឹងបកស្រាយជាភាសាអង់គ្លេសមានដូចតទៅ Good evening and welcome back to Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue Khmer Lady Viewpoint our number 29 show and now I would like to introduce our panelists this evening. Today we have two special guests, but due to Khmer Krishna, excuse me, she cannot make it to this evening because due to her throat, she don't feel well. And of course, we still have Khmer Tevy. She is our special guest this evening. Excuse me. And of course, we have my two lovely ladies, Mrs. Chhyna Chan, and Mrs. Kalyan Nou. And my name is Chhovy. I am your host tonight. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Thank you. Tonight is a special Lady Viewpoint show. Today marked the 12th anniversary of December 17, year 2010. This day, 12 years ago, Hun Sen made a great mistake by wrongfully arresting His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Sidam due to ignorance. As SCKHK, my Lady Viewpoint, we would like to dedicate show number 29 in honor of His Excellency for his dedication to bringing Cambodian back to prosperity by removing the evil regime from power. Our number 29 show, we have the largest panelists with actually, this supposed to have 5, but now we only have 4. Thank you. And before we begin, tonight I would like to congratulate us as CKHK, my Lady Viewpoint, for a milestone of success When we started this Lady Viewpoint program in October 2019, and our first live show was on December 6, 2019, we had many positive input and much negative energy that was trying to destroy us. We held on together. Look what made us tonight. We are doing our number 29 show. We would not be able to have this significant accomplishment without being assertive.
Yes, Bong, I agree with you 1,000,000,000% on this. We had our difficulties and our differences in many ways, Bong. But both of you ladies kept me strong and encouraged me to work harder, on making the show every single month, Bong. This milestone would not be possible if we do not have our husband's support and encouragement daily. But, the three most influential people are our leaders. Thank you to Lopatian, that means Savan, and Lopbong Sotapet for your comfort and encouragement.
Well said, Bong Kalyan. It's a pleasure to be back, and it's a pleasure to see both of you tonight. Like you said, we started in 2019. We were no more than just ordinary homemakers and humble grandmothers. We knew nothing about politics, especially politics that is 10,000 miles away. But like you said, Bong Kalyan, we have held onto the fight, the negative influence that try to break us up. Without Lopatian, that means Savanaho and Lupu Sotapet, this show would have not been gone after 2 performances. I am very grateful that we are doing number 29 tonight, Bong.
Yes, this is our number 29 show, and today is the 12th anniversary of the darkest day in Lopatian life, when Hon San and his wife made a great mistake of greed and ignorance by imprisoning Lopatian for 7 months, intending to kill him. On behalf of Sckhk, my Lady Viewpoint, we would like to dedicate our number 29 Lady Viewpoint show to Lopatian. Lady, we cannot bring back the time that Lopatian lost and suffered doing activity, but we can remember this day honoring Lopatian heroism. Let's get on with our show with the 2 slides on Lopatian quote, word of wisdom, posted on Lopatian Facebook on November the 21st, year 2022. Please show the slide, and I shall read the quote first in Khmer, and then I will reiterate in English.ទឹកសមុទ្រដ៏ជ្រៅនៅក្នុងលោកយើងនេះយើងអាចយកម៉ែត្រទៅវាស់ពីជម្រៅទឹកសមុទ្រនោះបានក៏ប៉ុន្តែយើងមិនអាចយកម៉ែត្រទៅវាស់ទឹកចិត្តរបស់មនុស្សឬសត្វបានឡើយឯបញ្ហាទឹកដីជាតិខ្មែរគឺជាបញ្ហារបស់ពូជកូនជាតិខ្មែរគ្រប់រូប Thank you, Bomani. The deepest ocean in the world, we cannot measure the depth of the sea, but we cannot measure the heart of people. As far as the issues of Khmer and national territory, it is a matter of our race. All Khmer children must work together to fight, defend our territory.
Yes, Bong, and I also would like to share my thoughts on Lopatian's words of wisdom. I am very adamant that the depth of my heart is set to liberate our motherland with Lopatian, without a doubt, Bong. And his other words of wisdom is very gargantuan in spirit. However, on the other hand, on the other thoughts, we could never know what others are thinking or saying until their actions are taken. And I also would like to share, Lopatian came to our one evening, back on November 28th last month, when Lopatian visited us all during our regular meeting. And he said these words of wisdom: give a person the power and you will know his true character. This is very true, Bong. All the hidden demeanors underneath the skin will crawl out. In all, Lopatian's commitment empowered all of us to stand and walk with him on this historic journey, Bong. Thank you.
Well, Kalyan, you know, what you said is absolutely correct. And most people can maintain their facade. You know, look, within the word of wisdom is very powerful, but don't forget that most people can maintain their facade. Most time our feelings fluctuate and resolution deflected so that we can avoid change. This happened due to inevitable circumstances and certain expectation in our lives. With that being said, I would like to state another choice of His Excellency Professor Dr. Rasidam motto for the Supreme Council of Khmer, which are truth, moral compass, and justice. This is the solidary word of wisdom that will guide all Khmer toward the right path. I am not reluctant to say this, but we are extremely blessed and a privilege to be under the umbrella of His Excellency Dr. Ray Sidam of his journey and endeavors. Chhovy.
Thank you for your humble thought, ladies. Before going on with our show, we have the quote from important foreigner figure who have engaged with Loc Batian professionally in the last 34 years. I will read the first one by Dr. Kissinger and own Kalyan, and own Chhyna will quote the rest. Here is the quote by Dr. Henry Kissinger. Dr. Ray Sidam could go down in history as a very best, considerable director of UNOITC. Own Kalyan first and then own Chhyna.
Well, thank you, Bong. You know, I will quote the late 41st President of the United States, Mr. George H.W. Bush. And here's the quote: "Friends have always served as a source of inspiration and instability in my life. Your support has been invaluable in our effort to keep America strong and free." You know, this was a letter from the late President Bush to Loc Batian, Bong. And I will only going to do this one quote only, but I would like to emphasize the meaning of this quote by the late President George W. Bush, the 41st president. You know, this quote states that our Loc Batian has been at the top of the world political arena and has been tested for his wisdom and strength by keeping America strong and free, Bong. And now Loc Batian is ready to bring happiness to Khmer land and Khmer people.
Well, thank you, Kalyan, Chhovy. During our interview, Kalyan, during our interview with Dr. Keith Scott last year, he confirmed His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Sidam is the sole heir and control of God asset. He had verified His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray is the sole signatory of the 9 global combined collateral accounts with all the 9 codes in Loc Batian's head. So I shall quote Dr. Keith Scott's statement about Loc Batian. Here is the quote. There were 9 commitment holders with the 9 master traders, banking traders in the world. And it has now been condensed into 1 license. One and only one person is Dr. Dam. If anything happens to him, the entire financial system will go down the chute. It is gone. There is no recovery. And here is another quote by Gilbert. China intended to take in 20,000 metric tons of AU and many more important minerals, spending their USD reserve, the circulating a double RMB using many euro, pound, and other hard currency with a strong metals reserve.
Well, thank you, lady. Okay, let's get on with our show. Again, how everyone doing this evening?
Great, Bong.
Good, good. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to acknowledge that Tevy joined SCKHK when she was 9 years old, and now she is 12 years old. Tevy, are you there?
I am doing well, thank you, Nami Chhovy. During this time of year, I have much homework as usual. I am so honored to be here tonight, especially since this is the 29th show honoring Paom. What is a privilege to be part of history, Nami.
Thank you, Tevy. Okay, ladies, our topic tonight show is the world has changed, so many changes. And now it's time for Khmer land to be changed too. ពិភពលោកឥឡូវមានការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរច្រើនណាស់ដូច្នោះនគរខ្មែរមានជ័យត្រូវតែមានការផ្លាស់ប្ដូរដែរ on Kalyan, on Chhyna, our number 28 showed the video stated that the world has changed. Let's reiterate that video for a bit. What does the video tell us? Lady, can you share your thought, please?
Oh, sure, well, I'll go first here. In the last 100 years, and I'm not racist, but the world has been dominated by one side color of skin. And we all know, it's the white skin. But now the table has turned, returning to the era of the Khmer Empire. When Angkor Wat was the largest city on earth with more than 1 million people, 50 times larger than London City at that time. I do not doubt that we will rise to the level again when our people become confident. Well,
you know what, Mom Kalyan, you are correct. King Sodhyavaraman II and King Jayavarman VII were the two greatest Khmer kings. Their enemies were fearful of them because they were brilliant kings. The evidence is in the proof of Angkor Wat. No nations on earth has such ancient structure to claim this success from thousands of years ago. Regarding the video, the title from the video said enough. As Asian, especially those with dark skin, we have been treated as third-class citizens of the world. Now we are in the leadership and superpower nations. CEOs of Google, Microsoft, Nokia, Adobe, SanDisk, Pepsi, and Sun Microsystem are all of the Indian descent or were born in India. Yes, the world has changed and Cambodia is awaiting for the change.
I agree with you, lady. Thank you, Chhyna. We were very respectful, more than 1,000 years ago. We are now, lady, the worst in the world in the last 50 years, especially under this, scum regime. What made you, on Kalyan, so optimistic that we could rise, the level again, on?
Well, Bong and on Chhyna, back on November the 26th, Lok Patin texted via Skype. And Lok Patin said, and I quote, "The world now has many changes. And now it is time for KHMERLAND to be changed." And I do thank you, Lok Patin, for this title. And I do thank you, Lok Bong Sarapach, for suggesting to use this title for our show today. With this, I am very optimistic because we have a very determined leader, our Lok Patin, whom the world community has tested in the last 34 years. And he has managed to overcome all kinds of obstacles, this person is no other than His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam, whom we all refer as to Lok Patin. And let me use this Singapore as the reference for this argument. On August the 9th, 1965, Singapore got expelled from Malaysian federal system after a significant effort to join the federal. And after they were expelled, Singapore could collapse into the communist hand. And now, after 55 years, ladies, Singapore has the most robust economy in the world.
That is indeed, Singapore is the most robust economy in the world in terms of its financial strength and, banking sector. They have, the most respected financial know-how on.
Yeah, well, talking about the know-how in banking structure, I would like to share the inside information of the top Singapore banker at DBS, Development Bank of Singapore. The bank assets manager said about structuring or engineering the Federal Reserve System funds movement. And I have, I will not mention their names for security reason. And he said, and I have this in writing, he said, let me read what I want to share with everyone here. He said, "Hello, everyone. Another anecdote to make everyone smile. I hope the asset manager was discussing this possibility and was told the following: do you have access to a person who is His Excellency Dr. Ray C. Dam? Because in case you do, he is the only one who can structure this through the banking system, specifically DBS, Development Bank of Singapore. And that's the only way you will get it through, done. You know, this is perfectly the fact, Bong. And look, Bong Sotapait has shared this quote with me back on November the 23rd.
Thank you.
Well, you know, Long Singapore is currently financial hub right now. As you just quoted, Louboutin is the beacon light of our journey and will benchmark our nation. And Cambodia will provide the benchmark for the world, as we have seen all the evidence disclosed. Here is the reason why it will be the benchmark. Kotral, Cambodia will be the world financial hub of the world. And under the leadership of Khmer, His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Sedam, the change of financial dynamic to be established of the second world financial hub will be safeguard for our future.
Yes, Chhyna, you know, that is very accurate on. You know, we often heard that Kotral will be the world financial center besides New York. The future of Cambodia is compelling. The UNOITC headquarters will be located on Khmer territory.
Thank you. Okay, Khmer Tevy, what is your thought point about this? Khmer Tevy, you there?
Yes, let me show you. Money is not everything, but the only thing holding money for our country is the best our country could be. Our country will be transferring from the killing field to the money-making field.
Wow, the killing field to the money field. I like that. Beautiful lady. How about you,
Well
Ochita?
said, Khmer.
Great.
Well said, Tevy. You are talking about superpower. Very powerful. Remember, Singapore was a third-class world country to become first class in 30 years. So in 1965, Singapore did not have what we have now. And they do not have the foreigners as their puppet masters either. But I am very optimistic as Kalyan that we could do better than Singapore, because our country will be one of the financial center of the world, just like New York.
Yes, I do not doubt, you know, that we will be so respectful, you know, after liberation, Ochita. Yes.
Yes, Mong, I'm very confident because of the following. One, our people have had enough of this nonsense stuff. Two, our people are very determined to be better. Three, our human resource is at the peak of sprouting now. And then four, with today's modern technology and economic structure, everything is moving faster. And then five, leadership is an extra, unordinary, with enormous financial resources without limitation. So last but not least, most of all, the leadership at the pinnacle is sagacious and brilliant, which is Louboutin Bong. That means the run and Lukbu Sotapait.
Yes, SCKHK leader are very sagacious without a doubt. They have sacrificed a lot in the last 10 years in planning and launching, you know, this historical movement. In October 2016, the Sckhk all safekeeping receipt of 500 metric ton of AU gold in HSBC Bank in England. It was issued in favor in attorney council group to carry out the successful mission with no room for failure.
Yes, Bo, and I agree that we have a very sagacious leadership at the pinnacle. Singapore had an ironclad leader, which was Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. You know, for the Khmer Republic government, we have a compassionate leader, His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Sedam, with a razor-sharp mind, with God mighty fist of financial arms to alleviate all the economic misery, Bong. And that can cut through complex problems like a hot knife cutting through butter. You know, but currently, a citizen and righteous owner of the land of Savannapung, we must stand up to claim and fight for our right. And the land of Savannapung is every Gond Khmer homeland.
Well, you know what, Mom, listen to this. When Singapore, were expelled from Malaysia, Singapore was facing severe unemployment and a housing crisis with a population of 1.9 million people, and the GDP per capita was around 500 USD back then in 1990. Their GDP per capita was also 13,000 USD. And then in 2015, the GDP per capita was about 56,000 USD. And by 2040, Singapore will reach 96,000 USD. And by 2065, hopefully we're still here, Singapore will be at 120 USD. These numbers are extracted from Ravi Menon's speech, Monetary Fund of Singapore in 2015. It is a solid model that we should be learning from. However, Singapore is not Cambodia, but Cambodia has more to offer than Singapore. And they do not have all the financial resources like, we have now. Long.
Thank you, on Chhyna. How about Tevy? What do you think of Cambodian will be after, we take over the government, Tevy?
I am very biased about this question, Nami. You know that I am very fond of Paom. Paom is the leader that Khmer never had in the last 800 years. The world put him in charge of the world asset. They must have seen the best quality of Paom. Some of our fellow Khmer failed to see it. It is beyond my understanding. Again, Cambodia will be great in the next few years.
Well, thank you, Tevy. Wow, lady, the world has changed. Everything is possible. As we all have seen, Kamala Harris. I want to say her name right, ladies.
Kamala.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes. Okay.
You're right, Mom. Kamala Harris.
Yes, thank you. The United States Vice President is of Indian descent, and Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of England, is of Indian descent. The Minister of the Home of England is also of Indian descent. And the Minister of Defense of Canada is also Indian descent. And ladies and gentlemen, the most influential position is no other than Lok Patin, full-blood Kon Khmer, the most influential person in this planet holding the global asset and the world gold mandate. There you go.
Yes, Bong. The world has changed, Bong. And the world will be more equally represented by the majority, not just the good old white boy club anymore.
Thank you, Owen. I could not agree more with this optimism. Let's go back to discuss what needs to change in Cambodia. Let's focus on the 4-pillar master plan that Lok Patin will power the robust economy in the short period. We have mentioned, this briefly on our last show, but tonight I would like to revisit the reform structure a little more. If you lady, could please reiterate, I prefer the following. One is land reform, housing, land ownership, living standard, and civil servant, and our citizen. Tonight, we will only cover land reform first and housing with land ownership. The living standard is it's too much in detail to cover tonight. Kalyan, you take the lead, and we will take as Tevy. Okay, if you don't mind, Kalyan, go first.
Sure, Bong. Thank you. To be a great nation once claimed to be under King Suyavaraman and Jayavaraman. I hope I say it right. I'm sorry. But, we must have a solid country from the ground up, Bong. Our people are ready for the changes, and the changes are coming.
What do you mean by the solid nation from the ground up on?
Well, Bong, a nation is the people, not just the leadership. Everyone must have the best of life. The illiteracy rate must be less than 1%. The cost of living must be affordable, and the economy must be at the top of the tier of life. And first, land reform must be reformed to protect the nation's sovereignty. Everyone must and shall have a land and ownership as the righteous owner of the nation. Housing is essential for every citizen, especially in rebuilding a nation.
Thank you. Thank you, Owen. Okay, how about Tevy? What are your thoughts on the land law, and then on Chhyna?
Yes, Nami Chhovy. Most of people are very helpless when it comes to losing their land. The Prime Minister and his family were the most extensive land grabber to sell to the Chinese government. The latest one is the land in Siem Reap. Bottom will make it right for our people when the Khmer Republic take control of the country, Namin.
Well, you know what, excuse me, Bong Chovy, if you ask me, everything is wrong with the current law under this regime, and they have too many loopholes and corruption to circumvent the law. They did everything from jailing them and kill them. This is how all the top government officials got rich. Their assets must be confiscated and placed into the national treasury for the benefit of the people, Bong.
No, Chhyna, you are right on everything is wrong with the current law. Plus, Hun Sen's family is grabbing everything in sight, especially his daughter, Hun Mana. She's very evil. You know, she even kills innocent people to get what she wants.
Yeah.
You know, what is the most dangerous is the land at the borders. 47,000 kilometers square is placed under the CLV, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam Enterprise Zone under the Vietnamese management. And in other agricultural lands is in many provinces and along their borders, the Vietnamese communists lease large hectares. You know, they're planning farming products that could house thousands of staff and all military units. And at the western border, the Chinese communists are leasing up a significant size of land for a major projects that could bring instability to the region, like the regional war. Bong.
What is the solution to these issues, to these land issues, On?
You know, Bong, the new Khmer Republic government will annul or terminate all illegal agreements, private or government contracts, regardless. You know, plus all the illegal lands concession that are all tycoons hold will be terminated. Kampong Chnang province land concession registered to what Ye Phu, about what 333,000 plus hectares is one of the land to be returned to the new government for the betterment of the people.
You know, Bong, according to the variable of Via Liquido NGO in Cambodia, the total land concession is 2.2 million hectares from 302 concessions contracts, Bong.
That is a considerable number when our farmer and people don't even, you know, have any land to farm. Do we have the actual number of who are the leasehold?
Well, yes, here this is some of the number that we were able to extract out. You know, first, Cambodia holds 970,014 hectares, and then the Chinese hold 384,049 hectares. Vietnamese communists hold 362,515 hectares, and then Singapore holds 137,815 hectares. Malaysia holds 90,844 hectares. Thai holds 59,663 hectares. Korean holds 56,548 hectares. And then other holds 94,123 hectares. These are a breakdown of the total of 2.2 million hectares from 302 concession contracts. The lease of 362,515 hectares of our land to the Vietnamese group is leasing by the Vietnamese Communist military, not a private Vietnamese corporation or individual, Bong.
Okay, you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Khmer people around the globe. The new Khmer Republic land reform will be taking place right away. The new Khmer Republic will be terminating all this, 302 concession land contract in favor of the people of the land with the land reform law. Again, this one of the change that all coming soon. I am so happy, ladies. But I still have another question relating to the land. It's more about, the land owned by the Khmer citizen, not Khmer. On Kalyan, please help our people to understand where the Khmer Republic stand on these issues, please.
Yes, Bong, the land reform will be very comprehensive in the best interest of protecting the nation's sovereignty for many generations to come, Bong. Those obtaining the Khmer citizen through falsified economic method, or in other words, illegal, will be prosecuted for the extension of the land and revoke the Khmer citizenship immediately. You know, the concession land will be placed into the Khmer Republic treasury to benefit Khmer citizen.
2.2 million concession land will be produced, agricultural produced for the benefit of the 85% of the people we have now live at $5 per day. Let me take this opportunity to ask the legal land question to our future international attorney. Okay, what do you think of this repossessed concession land from this leaseholder? Would it be possible, lady? Again, let me go ask Khmer Tevy. Khmer Tevy, can you do you have any comment?
Yes, Chhovy.
Yes.
362,515 hectares is land to be leased to the Vietnamese Communist government for 99 years. This is very dangerous to our sovereignty. I am only 12 years old and I know it is not good. And this government should have known better, but they do not care. The contract must cancel as soon as possible when the new Khmer Republic has control of the country. Lawfully or not, we must take the land back.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you are right. Yes, you are right, Tevy. Regardless of whether it is lawful or not, we must take the land back because the spirit of the land concession never met the needs of the people, which is the principle of the land. Plus, these concession lands leased to the Vietnamese communists are at the borders, and this is very dangerous.
Yes.
Absolutely, Kalyan. It is very dangerous and treacherous to our country because the land leased to the Vietnamese communists and will not return back to the Cambodian government. Therefore, 99 years lease is a very long time to lease to the Vietnamese citizen. These land are on the border of Vietnam. Eventually, the Vietnamese communists will claim it is theirs. They use their civil and military laws to govern the land. They will not allow any Khmer official to set foot on their premises, Bong.
Okay, I think we have shared enough thought on the land reform. Let's move on to the next issues. Housing is one of the most concerning topic. We have seen our people living, on the sidewalk. Some live in the abandoned public, restroom, the construction site, etc. To this housing crisis, we also have the 2 million plus worker migrant in Thailand and South Korea to be, returning home, which will add to the demand of housing. What do you lady have to share with our audience tonight? Chhyna, can you go first, please?
Yes, of course, Bong. The housing crisis is a global problem, not just in our country, Bong, but we are unique due to a lack of effort from the government. We are not short of housing. We have plenty of brand new apartment or condos all over the country. We recently have 35,000 plus units of condos per the Realtor Associations of Cambodia.
Thank you, Owen.
Chhyna, you are right on. 35,000 units and most of them are empty. These condos are not built in mind for our general population. Ladies, for example, a studio in Phnom Penh, only 79 square meters and priced at $360,000 US. Does this make sense? Especially for 2,000 a year per capita. Who can afford this? Only the Chinese migrant that invade our country. This is very dangerous. The Chinese would invade us if we allowed them, and our people will run off to the neighboring country like Thailand or run off to Korea for what?
Well, Bong, we we do not allow them, but the regime that is in control right now allow them. Okay, so ladies, we must not allow this act of invasion by Chinese immigrants. Khmer clearly could not afford the $360,000 plus for the studio of 79 79 square meters long. We have a solutions to this. The new Khmer Republic immigration law will protect our sovereignty. We will create jobs allowing our people to earn a decent living as a landowners. If the housing does not meet the requirement, Lopatin will build housing as needed, right? How does that sound to you?
Yeah, as I recall in the letter that you read last month, Chhyna, can you elaborate on Lopatin letter to the British Prime Minister on?
Yes, of course, Mong. Well, let me try to pull myself together on this first. So, okay, you remember the letter was very compelling, right? The letter stated that no other leader in the world offer such a financial help to a powerful nation like the United Kingdom, like, Lopatin provided to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak of the United Kingdom. The letter is an economic bailout for England, a housing development project in the multi-billion USD package with no debt to the United Kingdom and the people of England. The spirit of the economic bailout is the low-cost housing proposal at 50% cost of the current housing and more than 15% per month of income. Chovy.
Thank you, On. On Kalyan, please clarify what Chhyna just mentioned about Lopatin offering to help Prime Minister Rishi Sunak with their housing crisis.
Sure, Bong, the offer Chhyna just mentioned about Lopatin's offering help to the United Kingdom's government is very powerful letter, Bong. It is possible due to Lopatin, the UNOITC, quota, collateral account parent institution commissioner as grant master level 5 licensee Federal Reserve Systems under the treaties PAC Alpha Omega Master Plan authority from Swiss government to the oldest trust and European banking community in the amount of 10 trillion US dollars. This is the exact quote by Lopatin, Bong.
When I heard that 50% of the cost of construction and no payment, 15%, how would it be possible to cut 50% of the construction? Can you lady elaborate on this? Kalyan, could you help, us with this?
Sure, Bong. Everyone in our group has stated many times of His Excellency's 12 international treaties that were bestowed to Lopatin on January the 20th, 1995. To Lopatin in October of 1988 under reference code RC 01088. The Tripartite Gold Commission determines that His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam is the sole heir and owner of the various gold deposits in the Philippines that registered with the Bank for International Settlement. And with His Excellency's Federal Reserve Level 5 license and many others authorities, Bong. His Excellency has the solid asset, the AU bullion gold in metric tons of AU to lease to superpower nation to underline or stabilize their currency. With all that I have just stated, all other countries seek Lopatin support in the shortfall of their country's fiscal budget or economic stimulations. And as the letter read out by Chhyna, Canada listed 1,000 metric tons of gold bullion at the rate of 2% annual per year for 10 years. And right now, Australia government is going through the same process right now, Bong.
Okay, please clarify the part. One is provide a credit facility to OITC equal to the value of the gold that we lease to the Bank of England. 2, the credit facility will be used for enhancement via trading with the proceeds getting committed into an affordable housing program. Kalyan, please help us, to understand this 2 item. It is, a financial question, and it's not ordinary finance either. Can you please do it as layman as possible,
Yes, Bong, I will try my best to put into a simple way for everyone to understand, because you're right, it's very complex when it comes to this financial. You don't see this kind of statement in the regular financial banking circle. Only happens in the upper 1% circle of the banking world. It's not an easy financial arrangements. Per my husband, he called it financial engineering. First, we must understand the word credit facility. He explained, thank you to him to explain everything to me, patiently explain everything to me. This is in the form of cash liquidity from the bank. This scenario is from the Central Bank of England for the same amount of the AU gold leased from OITC. For the illustration, let's say 1,000 metric tons of gold. The value will be about $60 billion at 60,000 per kilo. The lease payment would be 100 million monthly at a rate of 2% interest per year. In addition, the Bank of England will provide a credit facility of $60 billion line of credit to UNOITC. And as for the second question, the keyword are the enhancement via trading and proceed. Please, listen carefully because this is not an ordinary financial process. This financial engineering is not done at any average level of banking, nor by typical business trading without consent from the Federal Reserve System. Look Patien, the one and only, has the financial apparatus and will use the Central Bank of England credit facility to enhance the cash liquidity to pay for the England housing project and return the principal to the Bank of England after the enhancement is done. And another word is called a non-recourse loan. In simple, Look Patien prints money with his authorities, and the proceeds will be used to pay for the projects and the fees. And to make it possible, you must have the following, which Look Patien has: the asset which is sitting in the vault in the Bank of England; 2, the Federal Reserve license level 5; 3, the Alpha Omega code to leverage the credit facility; and 4, high-level political influence concerns government agencies.
Thank you, Owen. Khmer Tevy, what is your thought on this, Khmer?
Yes, Namin Chhovy, I never thought the power of money was that mighty. I always thought that whoever has the gun has the power. And now, Paom showed the world that he has the power to control the world. And the superpower nations know it, Namin.
Yes, Tevy, I think you are now beginning to learn to understand this complex world, Khmer Srai. And especially at your age, I'm very amazed, Khmer. I'm very impressed with you. Look Patien has the power to print money. UNOITC is the largest bank instrument cutting house in the world.
Well, Bong, the United Kingdom economic is in straight dire right now. The gold bullion leasing offer by Look Patien is a lifeline to their economy. So, any nation would jump on to the opportunity and see why not to take the advantage of the offer. So because of Look Patien as a private and sovereign citizen of the world, Look Patien owns 6,370 metric tons of gold globally. Vice versa, the United States Department of Treasury holds 8,100 metric tons of 262 million troy ounces. Bong.
On the AU matter, I want to bring up, that the pallet of AU gold was shipped to Hong Kong, posted during our live show on Saturday of November this year 2022. What's what that gold for, Owen?
Well, that gold that we saw in the picture was shipped from Bangkok to Hong Kong for the credit facility of the Bank of UNOITC China. There were more than 10 pallets of gold. The total weight is about 20 metric tons of gold. The UNOITC Bank in China is a first step to stabilizing and ensuring that the transition to the new Khmer Republic for Cambodia will be unavoidable and must occur, Bong. You know, this is the way of His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam conduct his business. And in other words, American would say, proof is in the pudding. Now that Lok Patien has proved it, China better move its butt fast too.
Wow, that is a lot of gold, 20 metric ton. Lady, can you imagine how many bar, 100 bar?
20 pallets, Mom. I don't know how many to pallet.
I
A
have
lot
no
of gold.
idea. That's a really good question, Mong. You know, I mean, I thought it was challenging to move gold. I don't know anything about moving gold. I'm sure Mong Kalyan and her husband know how to move gold because they're in that business.
No,
Moving gold.
actually, you know,
So-
you are correct. It is very challenging to move gold, you know, especially those large amount of gold. But there's only one person on this planet has the authority to move such registered gold bullion hallmarked from one vault to another, especially sending it to China. You know, the BIS, Bank for International Settlement treaties, have jurisdiction over all bullion golds, require Federal Reserve System to approve all gold movement.
Where did the Federal Reserve System get to the gold movement on?
Well, these gold bullions, all the reserves asset for the USD that will be used for UNYTC banks in China, Mong.
That is correct, Chhyna. You know, all banks are linked to the Federal Reserve System, the Federal Reserve System, the Bank of England, a European Union Bank, you know, and the IMF, the World Bank must sync with the movement on. Again, only one gold Khmer could make this transaction possible, which is our Lok Patien.
Thank you, lady. Okay, we have a few more items to cover and we are close to end of our show again. Let's jump into those items now. We have two topics to discuss regarding the change. One is land ownership and two is living standard. For living standards, we will get into the civil servant standards and the living standard of our citizen. You know, the change Cambodia, we must have a new concept of how we function as a nation. Since the genocide Khmer culture has, you know, been turned upside down, corruption, you know, started at the early age, we must return to the principle of moral value again as we once have. Oh, Chhyna, we can, what can you share about the land ownership of every Khmer citizen?
Well, Mong, thank you for allowing me to lead off with this topic. I can relate to this topic. For me, being a homeowner is a security of a mental thing, and it's the castle of every man and woman, Mong. It is the foundations of every family. This is where the morals of the family built up on. I understand that under the new Khmer Republic government, every person, family, shall have ownership of the land of their own. So no one will be living on the street anymore. Only Khmer citizen will be allowed to own land or farmland, Mong. We have over 35,000 condos, which Mong Kalyan mentioned is empty, and over 2.2 million hectares of agriculture to allocate to our people, Mong. How pleasant is it, right? To change definitely will change the way of life for our people, for all Khmer Mong.
Thank you, Owen.
Yes, Chhyna, if I may add, you know, the foreigner will no longer be able to buy or own any Khmer land under the new Khmer Republic government. This means that the land or housing price will be affordable to all Khmer. Not just for the foreigners or the wealthy 1% of the population own.
Yes, the Chinese have, you know, driving up the demand with dirty money washing through our real estate industry. Now, our last topic is living standard of our citizen, public servant and citizen. Chhyna, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you know, I mean, allow me, Mong, to retake this topic. As you have said, since the genocide, our people no longer have a moral compass. The foreigners have poisoned us with everything they got. They poison, you know, with the culture, they poison with drugs, they poison with alcohol, and they poison with money, dirty money laundering. We need to go back to the basic to regain our country back to Alkun Khmer Ball.
Yes, I agree with you, Chhyna, and we need to have a fundamental value back. The authentic Khmer culture, not the Chinese culture or the Vietnamese cultures. Going back to basic is very much needed. I mean, right away. It must start with a moral compass and compassion on. However, without a decent living standard, there will be no moral compass. For this to happen, His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam master plan is to bringing dignity back to the civil servant with moderate income for a decent living standards for all government employees. And for example, the 120,000+ teachers will not need to seek outside teaching job to meet their living cost requirement. The essential living expenses will be drastically reduced for affordability to all Khmer citizens.
Can you please provide some of the essential living expenses that will be, drastically reduced?
Bong, these essential fixed expenses will be drastically reduced to make Cambodia the most inexpensive place to live and for our people to do business, Bong. Our people will see it right away at the essential, our essential daily item that will be reduced, like gasoline, electricity, food, housing, medical, hospital costs, water, transportation, telecommunications, Bong. These are just the essential items that will be drastically reduced after the new Khmer Republic takes control of the country.
Bong, I am so excited. I am very looking forward to this new change and to this new journey and endeavor. The civil servant salary will be at the level of decency and the cost of living will be reduced. Then our morals will be on the moral compass track again, Bong. How nice.
Yes. We have addressed civil servant living standard and the cost of essential living. How about the private citizen that if self-employed or working in the private enterprise? Kalyan, what is your answer to these issues on?
Well, the average income for factory workers is below the cost of everyday's living in Cambodia due to corruption from the top. The corrupted official controls every factory's Bong. The factory owner shares their profit with their silent partners or sometimes more than one partners. And this prevents the factory workers from receiving a decent salary. And under the new Khmer Republic government, the manufacturing industry will be competitive and more dynamic. And as said in our previous shows, His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam will change our country's economic landscape. The top-tier manufacturing industry will start factories in Cambodia under Lokspatin financial arrangement and market spectrum around the 9 regions. Now, this will take our people from a garment industry with the low minimum wages, to have a decent living at Cambodia standard. $200 per month is impossible. Now, with Lokspatin's economic master plan, the manufacturing labor rate will shift to a higher labor rate manufacturing cost, and the living standard will align with the region's required cost of living index. This process, ladies, will not happen overnight, but we will notice the difference when the new Khmer Republic takes control of the country.
Yeah, as soon as the essential fixed living cost is reduced and the income increases, our people will be able to enjoy life, like other nations, like Singapore and Thailand.
Bong and Chhyna, corruption is the disease of the country. As of December 2021, Cambodia ranked 157 out of 180 countries in corruption. Corruption is another thing that will be changed under the new Khmer Republic government. As said in our last show, number 28, the Cambodian People's Party will be dissolved and all the high-ranking official asset will be confiscated and placed into the national treasury to rebuild our country.
And, you know, we are talking about billions of dollars worth of assets, such as private enterprises and its asset, real estate development, agricultural land, buildings, vehicles, aircraft, watercraft, personal items, and bank accounts. Again, on October the 2nd, 2021, I read a letter to 1,070 tycoons on behalf of Lok Batien. And these tycoons are related to and affiliated with CPP and Hun Sen's family. Bong Chhovy.
Thank you, Owen. Thank you. We are now running out of time tonight again. But before we end tonight, for a few minutes that we have left, we would like to dedicate this evening to His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray C. Dam, because tonight is the 12th anniversary of his unlawful arrest by Hun Sen, held in captivity for 7 months. This is the main reason that woke up everything, even at His Excellency status with international protection. This evil man dare to violate His Excellency right and authority. For our closing tonight, each of our closing remark will be dedicated to Lok Batien. We have a short video to share first, lady, and after you could share your comment. Bomani, lady, can you please turn off your camera? Thank you.
មិនស្មើទុកប្រទេសជាតិទុកនេះទុកឥតគ្មានឃ្លាតទុកដោយពិឃាតអង្គុសលផលកម្មអោកម្មអើយកម្មកូនខ្មែរអើយខ្មែរតើហើយដោះស្រាយមិនដេចដែរខ្មែរត្រូវតស៊ូជាដរាបឬអនិច្ចាខែមរាមានមាសឥតចេះខ្ចប់មាសនោះមាសមានកំណត់មាសមានប្រកបក្នុងដៃកូនខ្មែរនេះលីសៃឈាមមួយដំណងតខ្សែសំណាងព្រេងនីកូនខ្មែរចូលថែរក្សាជាតិជានិរន្តរ៍មន្តដំចាទុកឲ្យមានដំឡៃពាក្យពេចន៍ថ្លាថ្លៃថ្លែងប្រាប់ប្រុសស្រីទុកក្នុងចិន្តាពីងលងបានពោលថាទឹកភ្នែកជាតិជាឈាមរបស់រូបខ្ញុំអំនឹងតទៅរក្សាឲ្យគង់កូនសូមបួងសួងដល់គុណមេដាបីជួយថាប្រោះព្រំពោជ័យជួបសុខសេរីកុំបីក្លៀងក្លៀតឲ្យកូនសម្រេចក្រិតក្រមត្រឹមត្រូវបដូរផ្លាស់ហ៊ុនសែនផុតទៅសាធារណរដ្ឋជោគជ័យទៅកូនសូមបួងសួងដល់គុណមេត្តាបីជួយថែប្រោះព្រំពោជ័យជួបសុខសេរីកុំបីក្លៀងក្លៀតហើយកូនសម្រេចក្រិនក្រមត្រឹមត្រូវដូរផ្លាស់ហ៊ុនសែនផុតទៅសាធារណរដ្ឋថ្មីបានសុខក្សែមខ្សា
Thank you, Bong Bunny, for the video. Now let's start with Khmer Tevy first, and then on Chhyna, and then on Kalyan, and then I will go last. Thank you. Khmer Tevy.
For tonight, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Paom for creating all the programs of the Supreme Council of Khmer to help the Khmer to bring the national moral compass principle back to our own Khmer. Paom is a true Khmer hero who will be removing the Vietnamese and Chinese communists and national and territorial unification. I want to dedicate December 17, 2010, the assassination attempt by Prime Minister Hun Sen on Paom, to see the day of great success in the revolution and ending the long-standing dictatorship in China. I pray to God and wish Paom a long life, strength, and wisdom to help the nation receive happiness from 2023 and forever. Thank you, Nami.
Thank you, Khmer Tevy. On Chhyna.
Sorry, Bong, as usual. Thank you. This is my closing tonight. I would like to end with Dr. Henry Kissinger quote. He first said in 1973, who control the food supplied, control the people, who control the energy, control money, and can also control the world. This quote is a very true meaning by Dr. Kissinger Bong, because His Excellency Professor Dr. Ray Sedam, financial apparatus and political cloud, every country counting on his blessing and support. Yes, the world is counting on Luc Batin to solve their financial problems. For us, Kon Khmer, we only have Luc Batin to liberate Cambodia from the Chinese and the Vietnamese communists. Once the new Khmer Republic is fully in control forever, we shall find peace and solace in our motherland, just like Mohaniko during the reign of King Suryavarman II and King Jayavarman VII. And we are counting on Luc Batin, and he's the only majestic person in this world that can make this happen to our country, Bong. Thank you.
Thank you, On Chhyna. On Kalyan. Unmute, unmute. Can hear you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Bong. You know, this is our last show for 2022. Amazing, huh, ladies. And, you know, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to everyone. And before we end tonight, I would like to thank all of you, ladies, especially my two ladies Viewpoint sister here. Both of you have contributed so much in the last 4 years. We all have fought so much over the dilemma we have encountered. Tonight is our 29th show, and I am looking forward to doing number 30 in January with you two ladies. And for our beacon lights, that means the one has been silently guided us behind the scene with her motherly love and advice. Lebang Sotapait is a very patient and hardworking leader who understands our need and weakness and willing to accommodate our challenges. Sorry, I'm just emotional. And for Luc Batin, he is the most pure heart person we all know. You know, he does not have a place in his heart for evil people. For his compassion is very pure, and he does not take revenge without weighing the consequences. And on December 17, 2010, Luc Batin was Luc Batin's darkest day to remember the wrongful arrest by Hun Sen. But ladies, we shall mark today as the day to remember in history forever. You know, if Luc Batin does not have a pure heart of love for our country and our people, Hun Sen and his family would have been history a long time ago, 10 years ago, you know, just with Luc Batin, few $1 million, you know, but that would bring chaos to the country, which Luc Batin does not want. So this makes our Luc Batin a very pure heart person, Bong. Thank you.
Thank you, On Kalyan. First of all, I would like to thank you, Bong Mani, for this wonderful video. Now you make us cry. You see what happened? Thank you so much, Bomani. Thank you so much. And second, Tevy, thank you so much for being here. And Ming wish you all the best luck in the world. And we hope to see you next year, Khmer. And last but not least, to my dear sister here, a different mom, different dad, we all sister. Thank you so much for, staying together. It doesn't matter what's going on, it's thunder, what's going on. And thank you so much for believing in our Luk Patien. We believe, to liberate our motherland from this evil man. That's why we here, we believe in the same cause. That's why we're here. We have to stand up for our people back home. They don't have no voice. We the one have the voice. So be strong, be strong, be together. I want to say all the Khmer around the world, don't be afraid. Speak up. If you don't speak up, this evil man can, take over our country.
Our lives too, Wong.
Yeah, our lives too. Yes, they're all crying for us now, crying for Luk Patien, Luk me, and lady, we all the three angels of Luk Patien, Luk me, and Luk Pu Sorapik. Thank you. Okay, enough about us. Thank you so much.
We're just honored. We feel very honored that we are part of him, and he believed that we are his, his mouthpiece. He wanted us to speak. He believed that we can do it. We can reach the message out there. But with that being said, we also need everybody to also get up and believe that this is going to happen, and we need their voice, like you said. If we don't stand up together, this will never ever going to happen. And we have a true leader. Our true leader is Luk Patien, Professor Dr. Ray Sidam, and he's the only one that giving us the chance to taking our country back. And yes, this video is, this is something that we can never fathom in a million years, that this happening to him, and had happened. And he's one of the most remarkable person in the world. The thing that he did is just huge. And imagine small people, people doesn't have the voice, those people that is out there or being imprisoned. How are they going to speak up? Look at Tevy Singh. She's a lawyer. She's an attorney of America. What is there? There's no justice for her. So just imagine people like her. We're talking about from small to medium to majestic, like Luk Patien. There's no voice. But you know what? Hun Sen did not know that there's a comeback. Here's the comeback. Luk Patien is coming back for him. Yes. And just smile. You keep smiling, Hun Sen. I know you're happy. Right now, you may be happy. You put out all these videos to show that, you are still strong and powerful. But when you are down, your family is going to be down. Your tycoon is going to be down. Your crony is going to be down. Everybody that ties to you will be down. And that's for sure. When Luk Patien take that chance to put you down. Thank you, Bong.
Thank you, On. On Kalyan, you want a couple words?
Just like, just to sum it up, all Gold Khmer got to stand up and walk through this journey with Luk Patien. We all, Luk Patien asking is all Gold Khmer to walk with him through this journey. So all Gold Khmer should wake up and get up and fight for our rights. Thank you, Bong.
Thank you, On. And now here on my humble thought. Today is the 12th anniversary of the wrongful arrest of Luk Patien on December 17, year 2010 by the Hun Sen regime. I am humbled and honored that we have dedicated this evening to His Excellency Dr. Ray Sidam. Thank you, Luk Patien, for giving this incredible opportunity to be part of Khmer history. I will share this historic journey to liberate our motherland from this Vietnamese communist puppet regime with utmost gratitude and gratefulness to share with our children and their children. Last, I thank you, my parents, for giving me life as Khmer Khmer. May Lord Buddha continue to bless all our SCKHK members and Luk Patien to bring happiness to Nagor Khmer Mien Jai soon. This is the end of our number 29. The Lady Viewpoint group is working very, very hard to bring awareness to all Kon Khmer worldwide to know the truth. All information and what our Lady Viewpoint stated, all based on Lok Pratian advice statement. May our Lord Buddha bless all Kon Khmer, especially Lok Pratian, for his love for our country. Thank you again. On behalf of our SCKHK Lady Viewpoint, we would like to thank you, His Excellency, Professor Dr. Racing Dam, Look me Savannah Ho, and Look me Soda Pich, for all SCKHK member, and of course, finally, our supporter around the globe. As committed, the Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue will ensure that all the traitors will be brought to justice. Until we meet again next month, please follow Khmer Politics and Supreme Council of Khmer for Rescue. SCKHK Lady Viewpoint would like to wish everyone a wonderful and safe holiday. And we'll see you next year. Thank you. យើងខ្ញុំទាំងអស់គ្នាសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណដល់អស់លោកស្រីប្រិយមិត្តតែតាមកម្មវិធីទស្សនៈស្ត្រីនៃឧត្តមក្រុមប្រឹក្សាខ្មែរជួយខ្មែររំដោះជាតិយើងនឹងវិលជួបអស់លោកសាជាថ្មីនៅឆ្នាំក្រោយនេះខ្ញុំទាំងអស់គ្នាសូមជូនពរឲ្យមានសុខភាពល្អប្រាថ្នាយ៉ាងណាសូមឲ្យបានសម្រេចដូចសេចក្តីប្រាថ្នាសូមគោរពជម្រាបលា